Hey guys, it's Dr. Justin Marcagiani. Welcome to the Beyond Wellness Radio podcast. Feel free and head over to justinhealth.com. We have all of our podcast transcriptions there, as well as video series on different health topics ranging from thyroid to hormones, ketogenic diets, and gluten. While you're there, you can also schedule a consult with myself, Dr. J, and or our colleagues and staff to help dive into any pressing health issues you really want to get to the root cause on. Again, if you enjoy the podcast, feel free and share the information with friends or family, and enjoy the show. Hey guys, it's Dr. Justin Marcagiani here. Today I'm with Evan Brand. We're going to be talking about the top 5 ongoing immune supports. These are nutrients and or herbal compounds that we use with our patients to support a good, healthy, strong immune system. There's obviously a couple of different areas and avenues we may use these preventatively as well as acute onset issues. And so we'll kind of talk about our experience clinically and how we use these in our practice. I'm excited. Evan, how are we doing today, man?
Awesome. Doing great and ready to dive in. So I'm going to start out with maybe the most important nutrient of all time, and certainly the most important nutrient for the past 1 to 2 years, which is glutathione. And you and I did a podcast early on, I think it was last spring, all about glutathione and how we use oral acetylated glutathione. We'll use liposomal glutathione. We'll even use nebulized glutathione. And it's been an absolute game changer for so many people. I would even go as far as to say I've saved lives using glutathione. I will just leave it at that. But it's an amazing compound, probably the most important compound. And our mentor, awesome guy, Dr. Kalish, he did a great talk very recently on glutathione, and he was showing how important glutathione is with the body. And the body will prioritize glutathione production even over methylation, and how important it is to really get this system working properly. And everybody's focused so much on methylation, and they're ignoring glutathione production. Everyone gets so caught up in MTHFR and genetic defects and all that, but they're totally missing the boat on glutathione. And this is your master antioxidant that is depleted during times of stress and during toxin exposure. So that could be any type of pathogen, that could be mycotoxins. We know that mold toxin will deplete glutathione. And you and I measure this routinely on urine testing. And I see low glutathione all the time. If we see organic acids that are too low or too high, we know that there's a dysfunction going on. And this is something that can easily be remedied and supplemented. And we have very, very high quality sources that we use for people.
100%. So glutathione is a tripeptide, right? So when we use glutathione, we're going to kind of put glutathione and NAC in a similar camp. It's good to have both. NAC helps with helps your body with endogenous production, meaning it helps your body make it, as cysteine tends to be the rate limiting amino acid in making glutathione. So glutathione is a tripeptide. So it's got cysteine, glutamine, glycine. Glycine is really great in collagen and bone broth. Glutamine, you're going to just see in a lot of gut healing formulas because glutamine is needed for healthy gut function. So if you have a healthy gut or you have an unhealthy gut, an inflamed gut, you can see how glutathione, absorption, and of course, the stress is going to deplete a lot of those amino acids just in the stress process. And so then you make glutathione via those 3 amino acids. And then also you have exogenous glutathione. That's giving someone S-acetyl glutathione or liposomal or some kind of a reduced glutathione, which are all great. Those are all going to be exogenously, from the outside in. Endogenous is making it inside with the amino acids. So it's good to help with both. We know the data on glutathione, it helps with inflammation. It has an effect on modulating the immune system, modulating TH or T regulatory cells and balancing that TH1, TH2 immune response. TH2 is going to be the antibody response. The TH1 response is going to be the natural killers or the special forces of our immune system. And then, of course, glutathione helps produce compounds like a lot of enzymes like catalase and a lot of good natural disinfectants like superoxide dismutase and things that help with lung and inflammatory health inside the lungs. You're going to make a lot of these compounds with glutathione, which are very powerful on the immune side. Excuse me, I need some glutathione now. On the immune side and also on the anti-inflammatory side. So like, for instance, with a lot of lung health issues or breathing issues, we may even give reduced glutathione in a nebulizer because that is shown, according to research, to help with inflammation and to help with vasodilation in the lungs. So very powerful anti-inflammatory, very powerful disinfectants because of the superoxide dismutase and that catalase enzyme, which is really important for inflammation.
Yeah, well said. I mean, every hospital, especially every ICU, especially with lung issues. I mean, every ICU should be passing out glutathione nebulizers. It's amazing that that's not standard practice. That's not standard procedure. We would see much healthier people, faster recovery times if that were part of the protocol.
Yeah, I've had some patients with some serious lung issues who we nebulized some reduced glutathione, and within a day, we saw massive improvement. And we know things like NAC, for instance, is shown to reduce virus replication. So that's very powerful. So when a virus kind of gets into your cells, it replicates, and that's how it creates symptoms. The viral load has to replicate. And if you have nutrients in there like NAC and or glutathione, that's going to prevent that virus from replicating to higher numbers. So very important there. And of course, the higher the viral load is, the more you can spread it. If you keep the viral load down, the less chance of spreading an infection. So that's powerful there.
And you and I take that ongoing. Yeah, you and I take that ongoing. We do, depending on what's going on. We're not telling you to do this dose, but what you and I are doing, at least I know for me, I've got a combo product. So we're using glutathione, give or take a couple 100 milligrams per day of an S-acetylated glutathione, which in studies is just as good, if not better than liposomal. Because with liposomal, we have some really sensitive people, me included. I don't really do well with ethanol and a lot of the alcohol that is in some of these liposomal formulas. So I personally stay away from those. I like the acetylated. I feel great with it. It works very well. Papers prove how well it works. And then about a gram, give or take, of NAC. So that's kind of my ongoing protocol. And also for toxin exposure, that also helps protect against the oxidative stress. That also helps to deal with mold toxin. We know glutathione can help mobilize toxins. So that's something we use in detox protocols too, not even just for immune and viral support.
100%. And so virus replication, good immune prevention, acute respiratory issues, all wonderful applications. I do about 2 grams a day of N-acetylcysteine and maybe 100 to 200 milligrams of a glutathione, whether it's reduced, acetyl, or liposomal. I'll kind of rotate between the two. So that's powerful out of the gates.
Last call. Let me make one comment on the NAC and then we'll move on. So at the time of this recording, Amazon has taken all NAC off of its marketplace. And there's many reasons that I could get into and probably get deleted for, but we'll just say that NAC is gone. But you and I, we work with professional healthcare companies. We do still have some availability. So we will put links in the show notes because this is something that I would recommend you have on hand. And if Amazon's going to take it away, at least we have it. So I think that's important to know.
I think so too. I like NAC. In my product, Detox Aminos, we have reduced glutathione plus some NAC in there as well. I know you have a product similar as well. We'll put links below so you guys can see that. And we're going to kind of divide up a lot of the compounds, like 5 herbal/immune compounds, and then we'll kind of look at the nutrients. And I always tell patients, like, focus on the nutrients first, just because they're nutrients. Like, they have other roles in the body, and it's good there. So NAC and I think glutathione are going to be there. Low-hanging fruit next is vitamin D. If you're not out getting enough sun or if you have darker skin, you're going to need some vitamin D. Vitamin D plays a major role with TH1, TH2 balance. It also helps modulate T regulatory cells, which keep your immune system in balance. A lot of studies showing people that have lower or higher vitamin D levels are more resistant to different viruses, infections. Vitamin D also helps produce a antibacterial enzyme called cathelicidin, which helps decrease bacterial load. So there's a lot of powerful benefits of vitamin D. And of course, in the winter months when colds and flus are the highest, guess what? That's where vitamin D is the lowest on average because of the sun. So vitamin D is very powerful there out of the gates.
Man, I just got my blood work back. My vitamin D was like a 45, which is too low. And I was kind of putting a false sense of security, I guess, into my sun exposure. I mean, I'll get my legs exposed, my chest, my back. I mean, I'll be outside for, sometimes couple hours, few hours a day during the peak hours. And my vitamin D was still below optimal. We like people, give or take, we want to be 60 to 80. And I was at a 45. So I'm back on supplementing 5,000 IU plus a K1, K2 formula just to try to make sure I get up to that peak where I need to be. So if you're like, oh, I'm outside in the garden, don't use that as your reasoning for not supplementing. If you have to supplement, it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would just say 50 to 70 on average is probably reasonable. If you have an autoimmune issue or any cancer issues, being 70 to 100 is probably even better. But at least 50, I think, is good. So you're not too far away from that. But if you're definitely in like the low 30s and 20s or below that, you get problems for sure. Yeah. So vitamin D is really good. Obviously, I think next low-hanging fruit is going to be zinc. Zinc has major effect. Zinc fingers have major effect on your genetics and DNA activation. Zinc also plays a major role in hormones, making testosterone, making stomach acid. So zinc helps with digestion. Zinc helps with on the hormone side, and zinc also plays a major role on helping viral load. So lots of studies on zinc lozenges. Zinc helps get into the cells and it decreases virus replication. So we have natural zinc ionophores, right? There are medications that do it, but there's also some natural compounds like quercetin that actually help zinc get into the cells at higher level, and zinc levels when higher can prevent the virus from replicating, kind of like NAC. So zinc is a very important natural compound, and so is quercetin as well. We could add quercetin and zinc together to really help flood our cells with good high quality zinc.
And we
So
don't go
zinc's
too
excellent.
crazy. I mean, we've had people that are doing like 50 to 100 milligrams of zinc long term. That's too much. I mean, maybe ongoing for females, maybe 10 to 15 milligrams, males, maybe a tiny bit higher. But I had one lady doing 100 milligrams of zinc and she was not feeling good. So that was too much.
Yeah, if you're doing that much, probably 50. It depends on the type, right? If you're doing a crappy like zinc acetate or something, if you're doing like a zinc bisglycinate or a really good zinc bound to an amino acid, probably 50 to 70 acute, like an acute type of situation. But outside of that, probably 10 to 30 max, kind of from an ongoing basis. You're going to get zinc in pumpkin seeds and a lot of your grass-fed organic meat and or high quality animal products.
Yeah, that's
So
the
that's going to be
question. I
pretty good.
mean, if you're eating the way we are, I mean, I'm doing a grass-fed steak for breakfast some mornings. I mean, I wonder if I even need extra. I guess it depends on the situation. I will throw a little in, I'll sprinkle a little in, but it's not a big one I take all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's more going to be during stress and your immune system being more compromised, your nutrient levels are going to need to be higher. And so that's powerful there. I would say next out of the gate, vitamin C is important. Vitamin C is a really important nutrient. Obviously, it has a major effect on oxidative stress. It's an antioxidant. I would say the macrophages, which are like the little Pac-Man, Pac-Women that gobble up bacteria and viruses in the bloodstream. There's a docking station for vitamin C onto that macrophage, and vitamin C can help potentiate the strength of those little Pac-Men and Pac-Women. Very powerful. Now, vitamin C has a molecular structure very similar to glucose. So guess what happens if you consume too much glucose, or i.e. sugar? That glucose can dock onto that macrophage and actually weaken it. And so it's important when you're sick and your immune system's compromised, higher levels of glucose will mimic vitamin C and kind of dock on that receptor site and will make your immune system weaker. So keeping your immune system stronger by keeping the glucose under control is important. And then getting that good vitamin C in there is going to be important, especially, acute, right? You can always work on what I call a vitamin C calibration, where you get your vitamin C levels up to just before or just past the point where you have loose stools, and then back up till they solidify. And you can do that during an acute phase if you're sick to keep your immune system nice and strong.
I love my vitamin C, but I overdid it because then my iron was too high. And I think I was doing like 3 grams of vitamin C for a long time. And I was drinking my vitamin C powder with my grass-fed bison steak. So that will increase iron absorption. So for anemic people, hey, that's a great strategy. But for males, if your iron's already high, that's one thing to consider, and just track it with blood.
Yeah, track your blood. The natural solution for high iron, if you're a guy, is going to be a therapeutic phlebotomy. So getting your blood tested, giving blood, all those things are wonderful out of the gates. So we talked about zinc. We talked about vitamin C. We talked about NAC, glutathione. We talked about vitamin D. Was there anything else we missed there? If we can add one more nutrient, what would it be, Evan?
I mean, I would say the B
Zinc,
vitamins
D.
would be important because B vitamins are going to be helping mitochondria. We know that a lot of the toxins and things we're exposed to damage mitochondria. B vitamins can help support the Krebs cycle. So in a roundabout way, I think that would be part of an ongoing protocol. If I wanted to keep myself up, keep myself feeling great, I think some Bs would be in the picture.
Yeah, I think some B vitamins are always good. So I think we have vitamin C, D, zinc, NAC, and glutathione. So we have 5 there, and we'll add a little bonus one with what you just said with the B complex. So that's fine right there out of the gates. Why don't we switch gears and talk about herbal / compounds? So we have silver, colloidal silver, or we use a nano silver, so it's better absorbed. You need less of it. Silver is very helpful because it moves through your body. It's very small in its molecular structure. You're not going to have to worry about argyria or turning blue when you use a high quality silver, because the silver molecules are so small, they flush right by your body and go out through your kidneys, no problem. If you make silver, you have really big silver molecules, bigger than 20 part per million. like in the 100 part per million plus, then maybe that can get stuck in your cells and turn you blue. But most of the Argyria are turning blues, and they come from homemade crappy silver. We use manufacturers that have been around decades and have never had a case of Argyria or turning blue, because one, we're just using high quality silver, and it's going to be tested, so we know the exact ppm part per million. And so silver is great, natural antiviral, and it also actually an antibiofilm. So it actually helps the body deal with bacteria better, because it decreases bacterial biofilms, which are the little protective shields. If you think of the movie 300, right? The Spartans, they had their shield and their spear, right? Well, biofilms on bacteria are like the shield, right? So imagine like in the movie 300, you pull away their shields. Now they're a lot more vulnerable to attack. Well, that's what silver does to a lot of these biofilms on bacteria. And so it can allow the herbs that you're using to actually kill that bacteria better. So silver is really powerful. Conventional medicine is even using silver. They use a lot of silver cellophane now. So if they do a total joint or total hip or total knee, they'll actually take the joint and they'll wrap the cellophane around the joint, because they found that it prevents MRSA or antibiotic resistant bacteria, which is powerful.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. So it's funny. A lot of the things we talk about eventually will be mainstream. Like we talked about, I think glutathione with nebulizers should be in every ICU, especially for lung and viral issues. And it's not. So maybe one day that will become true, just like the silver.
100%. So we have silver there. We'll also hit some medicinal mushrooms. There's a couple that are out there. I mean, I like reishi. There's some other ones that are really good, but reishi and a lot of these mushrooms, one, have an effect on increasing the immune system, whether it's usually the Th1 immune response. Some of them can also deactivate viruses, right? A lot of the beta-1,3 glucan or the tritterpenes that are in there can deactivate viruses. So that's pretty powerful out of the gates.
Yeah, I'd say turkey tail.
Add with that?
Yeah, I think turkey tail and reishi, those would probably be my top two. I mean, you and I do cycle in some maitake and chaga and some lion's mane. I really love lion's mane for cognitive issues or for helping with NGF, which is called nerve growth factor. I had a woman who had chronic burning tongue for 20 years, and we were able to completely reverse that using lion's mane mushrooms. So we suspected it was a nerve injury, because after a dental procedure, her tongue was burning, and it dealt with it for 20 years, and lion's mane took care of it. So I just love lion's mane, but for this conversation, I think reishi and I'd say turkey tail would be the best. If you are having issues with oxygenation and chronic fatigue, a lot of people having some post-viral chronic fatigue, cordyceps. I love cordyceps mushroom. I use that quite often as well. So those three would be awesome: turkey tail, mushroom, reishi, and cordyceps.
100%. So reishi, cordyceps. I like other compounds like golden seal's wonderful. I had that in my GI Clear 4. That's kind of in the berberine family. That's wonderful. I see a lot of berberines do amazing. You know, Oregon grape, barberry. I like golden seal. I think it's wonderful out of the gates. You have
and
things
what
like
for?
What's
and
that?
What are you referring to the berberine compounds for? What are you talking about?
Well, it's an antibacterial. Berberines mixed with wormwood. If you look at Stephen Buhner's book, he talks about that being a very powerful antiviral kind of synergist. So berberines with artemisia are very powerful there as well. So I like that too. I would also say astragalus is also very powerful. It's a good blood cleanser. It helps with the spleen. It helps with B cell antibody production. Helps clean out the blood a little bit. Any feedback on astragalus?
Oh, love astragalus. I've got tons of bottles of it, and we made astragalus for a long time. We had really good quality source, glass bottle, good stuff. I take astragalus all the time, and especially for tick bites. If you're listening and you're like, hey, I want to improve my immune system, and all of a sudden I got a tick bite, per Stephen Buhner's protocol, he recommends 3 grams of astragalus for the first 30 days to really help ramp up the immune system. If you had chronic Lyme, though, that would be a situation where you don't do that, because it can send the immune system the other direction. So that's one of my favorite herbs. I'm glad you brought it up. And it's often the root. Technically, we say the herb, but astragalus root is what's being used.
Correct. So we hit astragalus, we hit golden seal, we hit some of our medicinal mushrooms, we hit silver. Let's hit one more out of the gates. Andrographis is another good one. And again, a lot of these herbs work by, one, supporting or stimulating your immune response. And typically, a lot of them are going to work more on the Th1 side. So they're going to really help mobilize natural killer helper cell production. And of course, that then also helps support antibody production later in the game. And then a lot of these herbs can also decrease the virus from being able to replicate. And so that's helpful, because the more replication of the virus we have, the more the symptoms increase. So if we can decrease virus load while improving our immune response, then we kind of hit it from both angles. Now, people that are autoimmune, some of these herbs could make you feel worse, right? But the way I look at it is most people are going to be Th2 dominant in a lot of these autoimmune issues. And so naturally supporting Th2 could be a good thing out of the gate. So I always say work on supporting the nutrients first, and then you can kind of come in there with the herbals, come in there one at a time and just see how you do with them. And then add that to your functional medicine toolbox later on down the road. So if you get sick, different strategies that are going to help you.
Yeah, it's a great point. You're hitting on the multiple mechanisms, right? You've got vitamin D increasing the immunity and reducing cytokine storms. You mentioned some of the antimicrobial benefits to it. You've got the biofilm support in there. You've got the intracellular support with the zinc and the quercetin. You've got just the standard immune support with your mushrooms. You've got your protection from glutathione and NAC. Last thing I'd like to mention on the herbal front, I would say some sort of adaptogen. We kind of talked about this off air.
Oh, yeah.
Adaptogens in a roundabout way would be very beneficial. And that's something you and I take every single day, as far as I know you do, or at least most days.
Here, ashwagandha is one of my favorites. My ashwagandha supreme. Ashwagandha has been shown to be taken long-term, very helpful for immune function, immune modulation. Obviously, ashwagandha can help cortisol surges too. And we know high cortisol / stress can decrease your immune function. So if you're having high cortisol due to some kind of acute response, ashwagandha may be a good solution to help get that cortisol response under control.
If I had to pick two, I think ashwagandha is up there, maybe number 3 for me. I'd say number 1, based on what's been going on, rhodiola, because of the anti-fatigue effects, the anti-anxiety, the antidepressive effects, also amazing for hypoxia. For athletes, for anybody struggling with oxygenation issues, rhodiola is amazing. Second, I'd got to go with eleuthero. I love Siberian ginseng. That combo of eleuthero and rhodiola, oh man. Holy basil's awesome too. I mean, God, we love adaptogens. So I would just say any and all of those could be worked into a protocol and would provide an extra support to keep you up on your feet.
100%. And also with vitamin D, taking vitamin D with K2 is going to be helpful, or at least vitamin K. Again, if you're getting a tablespoon or 2 of high quality grass-fed butter or ghee a day, that's great. If you're getting any sauerkraut or good greens, that's going to be more K1. So if you have enough of those good quality fat-soluble vitamins in your diet, you're probably going to be okay. But if you're not, that's where it's good to just have a little bit of vitamin K2 in there as an insurance policy.
Cool. Well, I think we covered it, unless you want to throw any other herbs in. I think it's a good stack though.
I mean, we had a good amount, now in regards to the amounts, I mean, typically we may double or triple the typical recommended dose on the back of the bottle if it's an acute type of phase, depending on what's happening. And so that's kind of a good, I think, rule of thumb out of the gates is at least double or triple for the first few days to a week during an immune response.
Yeah. Ongoing though, for me, rhodiola, a couple 100 milligrams is plenty for me. Too much, I get overstimulated. Same thing with the eleuthero, a couple 100 milligrams typically per day, early in the morning. And ashwagandha, I mean, you could go up to 500 milligrams or so would be, I think, a great ongoing dose for ashwagandha.
Yeah, I think 500 to 1,000, you can go up to 2 grams on that. And again, it matters if it's like, this is a whole herb, right? Some are like a standardized extract of a much smaller dose that could be more concentrated. But if it's a whole herb, a gram to 2 grams is usually going to be fine. A gram on the lower one's fine.
Yeah. And we're not making your protocol here. So like if you go and you look at the bottle and like, well, this is 80 milligrams of ashwagandha, so I'm going to go take freaking 40 to get to what he recommended. No, you got to pay attention, like you mentioned, to the label, because like you said, standardized extracts, 80 milligrams could be equivalent to 800 milligrams if you've got like a 10-to-1 extract. So you got to pay attention to your labels and know what you're getting.
And also, if you're really nightshade sensitive and you have a lot of autoimmunity, be careful, because ashwagandha is a nightshade. But again, if you are really sensitive nightshades via tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants, peppers, then be careful with that. Do it one at a time.
Yes.
So outside of that, today was a great chat. Just for the listeners here, if you guys want to reach out and get specific functional nutrition, functional medicine care by either Evan or Dr. J, myself, feel free, head over to evanbrand.com. You can reach out to Evan there. There'll be a link for you, as well as my site, justinhealth.com. We are available worldwide via phone, Zoom, FaceTime. We're here to provide all your natural health services if you need that. Also, click down below, send us a review, give us a little comment on today's podcast. If you enjoy us, let us know, kind of put down what immune support's your favorite and what's been helpful for you in the past. We love having clinical experiences shared. That's how you learn a lot. Anything else,
Absolutely.
Evan?
No, I think you covered it all, and just keep your head up, keep moving forward. That's all you can do. So I hope these tools will help people.